Hi, everybody. We are live. Welcome to Sunday night. It looks like we're in our kitchen tonight. I'm not going to be cooking, though. I'm just going to be talking. Gonna talk about this season, and some people have real trouble with it, and I get that because I certainly had that for a long time, and sometimes it just feels so hard. Before we get into it, I do want to make a few announcements. We have a giveaway tonight. The giveaway was not claimed last Sunday. You guys, you got to come back to the end and watch, if you entered it, even if you just come back, watch the last 5 minutes of the live to see if you won. Because the winner didn't come forward, and so we're going to give away that shirt again. And you just have to put the word shirt in the comment. It doesn't matter if it's capitals or small case, but only do it once because it just rejects any duplicates. So no need to duplicate your entry. I want to say hi to our moderators, Bonnie and Melissa. Copper's Kitchen is Melissa. They are in the chat, giving you guys whatever it is that you need, a welcome, a hug, virtual hug, maybe a link or two, that kind of thing. So thank you guys for being here. For those of you who don't know me, I have been doing this for over 10 years, probably 12, I don't know. I was over 320 pounds at some point in my life, and now I'm not. So I'm, still working on it. I've lost almost 150 pounds. I would like to be able to increase that number slowly but surely. But the last bit is a bugger. So I get that from some of you out there who are struggling with the last bit. I am for sure. That's part of my story. I wish my story was, in 6 months, I went from, this weight to goal weight, and I've never looked back, and it's been all perfect. Would love that to have been my story, but it's just not my story. So I can only share my story, my journey with its ups and downs. And that's what I do here. I've been, doing YouTube videos for about 4 years, doing these live streams for about 2 years. And I really do enjoy the live streams. They are kind of fun. You just never know what's going to happen. Sometimes the strangest things happen, and you just have to deal with it. And I never know what's going to be asked. And so which reminds me, if you have questions, I'm just winging it tonight. I do have a few points I'm going to go over on the topic, but I'm basically, there's going to be lots of time for questions. What was the other thing? Oh, the rebounder. So somebody did win the rebounder. It was Tidy Whitey. Congratulations, Tidy Whitey. Their rebounder is on the way to them already. Ken Sohn was very generous. That's the second rebounder they've donated for a giveaway. And I was very happy to give it to Tidy Whitey. Now we have a air fryer giveaway. So if you haven't seen the pork belly video that just came out in the last week, on all the instructions for entering the giveaway are in that video, and you've got about another week before that ends. So while I'm talking about the tasty air fryer, also their Black Friday deal where you get $40 off and a gift bundle with the air fryer, that's going on for the whole month of December. And those details are also in the video notes here for this live, and also in that pork belly video. So go check that out because someone is going to get an air fryer for Christmas, and it may as well be you, right? So I did that. Okay. And I just wanted to, I'm only going to do one vendor shout out today. I just wanted to give a shout out to, see if I can get this on here properly. No, that's not the right one. Oh, the troubles I have. Scott sent me a bag of the salted caramel because he wanted me to make a dessert. And this is Scott from Meat Stock. He also has something to do with his company. I'm not really sure what, but he sent me a bag. I've made a dessert. It's a fantastic dessert. That video is going to come out in about a week, and it's going to be perfect for holidays, date night. It's kind of a really nice carnivore dessert. I didn't add any sweeteners to it. You guys are going to be impressed when you see it. So that's coming. That's coming soon, and watch for that. And I think I have all my announcements. The link for the Saltr, which is the Norwegian salt. I used the Norwegian lime salt in the pork belly video as well. That link is below as well. Okay, so we have covered all of those things that I was supposed to cover. So I just want to say, we're into the holidays now. It's December the 7th. We're well into it. And I know that sometimes it just feels really hard. I have been there. I go back there. This is not, for me, this has not been a journey of, I was here in a straight line down and everything was perfect. It's been setbacks. It's been things happening. The holidays, you get all the twinkly lights, you get, the nostalgia, all the feel good feelings. And yet it comes with this anxiety and this feeling of, boy, is it just so hard. And it seems to be centered around the food. And for those of us who have difficulties, dealing with, our eating issues, it can be an extra added pressure. There's so much tempting food, and it just makes you question your life choices when you start feeling that feeling of, wow, I'm doing something completely different. How am I going to get through this and all that? It's hard, but it's definitely not impossible. And I think if you can reframe it to it's hard because it's important. It's important to me that I stay the course. It's important to many people that they stay the course. And so it just means that we need a plan. And maybe, that plan could just be as simple as making sure we don't go near the dessert table, right? It can be as simple as that. And there's a few other things I'm going to suggest, but this isn't about perfection. This isn't, it's just about going in prepared. It's just about being prepared, and remember why. Why are you doing this? Why do you care? Why is this important to you? And thinking about your future self, come January, your future self does not want to start the new year, which will be World Carnivore Month, by the way, for those of you who are a carnivore. Your future self doesn't want to start January with a sugar hangover and having to, go through the detox. So I have a few points that, I have jotted down today, just thinking about a few things. I think I already covered this one. That hard doesn't mean impossible. It just means that it's important, and it's a sign to, that your goals do matter. And I find, and I have found over the years, that failure is where I learn the most. Growth doesn't happen for me when things are easy, when everything goes right and smooth and everything's perfect. I learn nothing, because and when you think about that too, if everything is handed, you think about kids who come from gazillionaire families, everything's handed to them, that kind of thing. Sometimes they don't learn anything, and you hear about all these second generation wealthy families where the kids are all squabbling and fighting over the money and that kind of thing. Like that's what they've learned, right? And I feel like kids that come with challenges, and their parents have allowed them to work through those challenges and, supported them, but, in a way of, dealing with the challenges in the best way that they can, rather than just doing everything for them. I just feel that that's really valuable. And I guess my parents were kind of like that. They left me alone to make mistakes. Sometimes I hated that. But I see now, that I'm happy. I'm happy with that. I'm happy that I was left to figure things out. And it wasn't always easy, and it still isn't easy. And I just feel that, having failure has been the way that I've learned over the years, and so I think it's okay. And my another thing that I was thinking about is we all have this expectation of having a perfect holiday, perfect Christmas, perfect family gathering, whatever the event is that, we planned it or we're attending. We want to have everything about it to be perfect. And why really does it have to be perfect? How important is it for it to be perfect? We tend to have that expectation of things being perfect, and then we feel let down when things are not perfect. That can really spiral. I think a lot of people are more at risk for going to the food for comfort after an event is over, because of that feeling of letdown. There's this thing called post-event syndrome, and I have fallen for that many times over the years. So I think just a tip to be on guard for that when, the day after you've made it through an event or you've made it through a holiday. I felt it a bit last year when I went to, one, I was at Meat Stock, and I was also on the low carb cruise. There's a couple of days after when I get home that I feel kind of down, and I feel like, ooh, I made it through that. And there's some uncomfortable feelings. There are things that I felt a little, you feel a little let down that it's over, and that kind of thing. So just be on guard for post-event syndrome. Protect your energy the way you would protect, your family secret holiday recipe. Like, you need to do what is comfortable for you. Overcommitting is never a good idea. Saying yes to everything is never a good idea. You've got to try to figure out what can you realistically do, and stick with some boundaries. You need boundaries. That's what it is. Your future self is watching and cheering you on, and you need to have a picture, like just create a picture in your mind of waking up 1st of January. Maybe I know some of you, the 1st of January is also, a write-off because there's still gatherings going on. But picture yourself, say, waking up on the 2nd of January, clear head, no alcohol hangover, no sugar hangover, no carb hangover. You're just going to get up, make bacon and eggs or something, go out for a morning walk, do that kind of thing. It's going to be great. And no regrets. Can you imagine? No regrets on January 2nd. You don't even have to make a resolution because nothing's different. You have, nothing's changed. It's, I've been throwing the term around business as usual. And to me, December is business as usual. What is different about December than November or October? It is business as usual. Go to the events, eat what you normally eat for yourself. Do what you normally do for yourself. There isn't any reason to change and to go off course unless you decide that's what you're going to do. When you can't control the food around you, control your story and your self-talk. This is where self-limiting beliefs come in. And if you're always telling the story of, I never make it through the holidays. I always cave when this item of food comes out, or I always fall apart during, this event, or, whatever that story is that you are repeating in your head, change it. Just change it. Maybe just reframe it to something like, yeah, now I no longer eat that. I'm, like, make positive affirmations to yourself about what you do, what, how you do handle things. And, that, forget that old story, because that old story will come true if you keep repeating it to yourself. Have a strategy before you have the struggle. And, we've been talking about this for about 4 weeks. If you go back to these live streams that have been going on for the last few weeks, there's handouts for dealing with FOMO, fear of missing out, dealing with, the guilt of saying no, how to say no gracefully, all of the holiday strategies. There's a whole bunch of handouts, and it's all, everything leads, all roads lead to Rome, they say. And in this case, Rome is having a plan. Have a plan and a strategy, and have an idea of how you're going to handle things. Be prepared. Plan. Having a plan eliminates a good 90% of the stress, compared to if you don't have a plan. The tiny wins do add up. So, nobody's thinking everybody's going to be perfect here. There's going to be slip ups. There's going to be things, that you're going to try a bite of this or a bite of that. I mean, if you do, just move on. Just move on. Don't dwell on it. It's, make sure you eat your protein before you go. Make sure you bring something in your bag, whether it's purse bacon, carnivore bar, carnivore crisp, something you've made yourself, something you've bought, whatever it is, bring it along. Go for a walk, walk for 10 minutes after you eat. Leave food on your plate. You don't have to finish everything on your plate. But these small little wins, that they do accumulate over time. And so they will add up. And it is better than making every minute be a loss. That's what you want to avoid. You can't guilt yourself into better health. You can't, keep beating yourself up. Compassion with yourself and giving yourself grace, it creates some momentum, but shame creates quitting. And that's the last thing we want. The last thing we want is for you to just throw in the towel and say, it was such a bad, I did so poorly during that meal or that event or whatever. I may as well just, eat whatever I want until January, and then I'll start again. That's just not a great strategy. I mean, it doesn't matter how bad you screwed up. You can start again the very next meal. Like, you absolutely 100% can. You have that choice. If you choose to, throw in the towel for the whole season, like, that's your choice. That is your choice, but it doesn't have to be. It totally doesn't have to be. You can choose to get right back on the next meal and go from there. And then you've only had a very minor loss, and the rest, you could have weeks of wins leading up to January, and so nothing to regret then. Like that, that this is how. I mean, it's taken me time to do that, but this is what I go through every holiday season. My holiday seasons used to be 30-40 pound weight gain every single year. Every single year. I could predict the day it would start, which, in Canada, it was around mid-October when we had our Canadian Thanksgiving, all the way through. It was same thing, you do the same things over and over again, expecting different results, and you just get the same crap. And I got the same crap every year, which was 30-40 pounds of extra weight every year. And so now I pretty much maintained through December. I can't remember the last December where I've had a weight gain. I don't expect one this year either. that doesn't mean that, that it's going to be perfect. I remember last Christmas, I ran into problems with charcuterie boards. I make beautiful charcuterie boards, and then I eat too much cheese, and it's my skin would flare up and all those things happen. I'm not perfect. It is still, yes, it is still something that I have to be conscious of, and muddle along just like everybody else here, and I do, but I get I get through that, and I learn from it, and hopefully don't repeat it again. Find some other strategy for that, less cheese, or limiting the, there's always something that you can improve on and that you can tweak. So, my final note here is that we're not starting over in January. We're on this journey right now. What you do in January has nothing to do with today. So we're on this journey now, and we may have a detour. The car might break down. Something might happen between now and January. We've got 3 weeks. Anything can happen in 3 weeks. But we can't say for certain what will happen in January. We can, if you decide you're going to throw in the towel now and start in January, how do you know you really will? How do you know you really will? You might not. You might just be so down into the ditch that you might not be able to. You might not have the ability to. So to me, it's much better to deal with the problem head on the moment it happens, the moment after it happens, and deal with it then, and call somebody, tell somebody, talk to yourself if you have to. There's somebody you can reach out to, whether it's someone in your family, someone online, a friend, phone call away, whoever that person is, or people, just say, hey, messed up today. And I'm just going to carry on. Everything is okay. Put the gas in the car, go consult a map, the journey does not have to be delayed. If you were traveling somewhere on your way someplace and your car broke down, you call, AAA or whoever it is that you call, and go to the gas station, get a tow truck. You'd be doing all these things. You wouldn't just stay there and wait till January for 3 weeks for somebody to come rescue you. Nobody's coming to rescue you. You've got to do this yourself. And there's people that can help. There's people everywhere that can help. And come here every Sunday night, and we'll try to give you a little pep talk. We'll try to help you, give you resources that you need. Answer your questions. Ask your questions. We're going to be getting to questions in just a moment. So just be consistent. I think the real success in losing weight or any other thing in your life, this is not just about weight. This is, we're on a health journey, but these things apply to all of life. It's not just about how much we weigh or things like that. We just have to be consistent, and the ones who get to where they want to get to with their goals are just the ones that have been consistent the most and the longest. I mean, it's as simple as that. So stay connected to who you are on this journey, and you're not the person rather than being the person who's afraid of making a mistake, just consider yourself to be capable and have the wisdom, and just keep going. Just know that you can change gears at the next meal, and you've got this. You can do this. If I can learn how to do it, I was the most stubborn person, weight gainer of the holiday season ever. And if I can do this, I know that you all here can do that as well. So those were my points that I wanted to cover. I didn't have a handout today. I just made the notes, sort of and just wanted to talk off the top of my head, because I just think this is so important. And I want to remind you that we are doing a giveaway. Just put shirt in. And I'm gonna head. Oh boy, there's a lot of comments. I didn't see them all collecting up. So here we go. I'm gonna go over to the where they've been gathering the questions for me, and see what we have here. Oh, look at this carnivore hippie who I know as Chef Patty. Chef Patty, I look forward to seeing you again this year. I hope you're going to be at Meat Stock. It would be great to see you again for a third year. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Patty J117. It was so good to see Pippi in the pork belly video this week. Oh yeah, thank you, Pippi. She was so sweet. You know, we had this sudden cloud burst and the rain was just coming down, you know, cats and dogs. And she's 16. She's going to be 16 years old, or she's in her 16th year. She's really old, and you know, it's hard for her. She has to be carried outside. So of course I went out there and got wet too. But she was I had to wrap her in a towel, and we were in the middle of filming a video, and yeah, she's so sweet. True6013, thank you for being honest, open. That is the most useful, instead of a cheerleading event saying everything is so simple and easy. So thanks for that. You're welcome. I know it's not easy. If it was easy, I would have done it in a year instead of, you know, it taking me all this time. So I know it's not easy. And you know, I just want everybody to know it's not easy, but it is possible. And I feel for myself, it is truly a result of all the times, even though there are times that I still say yes to the bad thing, there's more times that I say no to it. And those are those little things that add up, the accumulation of the times where I can say no. And, you know, it's whoever can say no for the longest period of time, most consistently, that's the person who will get there. And I am so not perfect. I am so not perfect. If you had to be perfect to get anywhere, I'd be lost. I would truly be lost. So thank you for that. Holly, my story is more like a roller coaster, but I continue to be in the negative, so I'm okay with that. Exactly. The roller coaster is such a thrill ride. It goes up and down, and eventually you get there. But you got to go through all those ups and downs. And you know, if I was to graph my progress, it would not be a straight line graph going down. It would be you know, just like that. And I think a lot of people, it would be like that if they did do that. True6013, I've watched your videos for a few years, but this is my first time joining a live chat. Welcome. I'm glad that you are here. It's kind of fun to be in a live chat, especially if you get talking to the other people in the live chat. So welcome. Holly, I don't have an air fryer. Does the oven work the same for the pork belly? Well, it depends. Like if you cut it into small cubes, you could put that under the broiler. You know, my only thing with pork belly is I like doing it in the air fryer because you're containing the mess. There's a lot of fat on pork belly, and the idea with the bites is to get them really crispy. So if you're okay with cleaning your oven after, or if there's some way of minimizing the splatter, I'm so used to now not cooking in the oven and using the air fryer. But why don't you go and enter the contest? You never know, you might win yourself an air fryer. Darvit, I received the vibration plate Friday evening right after the Zoom ended. Yeah, that's great. I hope you're enjoying it. I really do enjoy mine. That was my gift to myself for Black Friday. I usually buy a kitchen gadget or something. This year I bought a vibration plate, the Life Pro, and very happy with it. I believe it's loosening up my stiff knee, which I'm enjoying. Just Jason Keto has a shipment of Saltr on the way. Wow, you're gonna enjoy that. That is good stuff. It just tastes so clean, and it doesn't have the maltodextrin in it. I'm just really enjoying it. So hope you love it. Hang on, Brian. That is so generous of you for gifting this membership, and it was given to You Gotta Be Kidding. We're not kidding. We are not kidding. You have received a gift membership, and you can go check out, our Zoom meetings and all that kind of stuff in the membership area of my channel. So thank you for doing that. Brian gifted another one. KJ Bright received a gift membership. Thank you, Brian. That's fantastic. Wow, good for you. And KJ Bright, hope to see you soon. Okay. Holly, I went up 15 pounds over Thanksgiving weekend, have lost 8 of that so far. Okay, good. Yes, it was mostly inflammation as my lower legs really swelled up. Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that inflammation, do we? I mean, it's no fun when your legs swell up to the point where, you've got all that inflammation back. And I'm so glad that you started to work on it right away and get that, reverse that rather than waiting until January. So that's a win. So good for you. I'm glad to hear that you're already working on it. Elizabeth Jones, I have broken my stall finally, and now have lost what I weigh, 160 pounds. So you have lost half your body weight. I mean, that's where I'm trying to get to as well. So I know this feeling. Thanks for all the great, helpful videos. I mean, that's congratulations. I am so happy for you. Wonderful, wonderful news. Okay, we have a question here. Thinking about you, I know holidays make missing family more pronounced. How did the yerba mate allulose drink work out for you? Trying it now, appetite is lessened. I drink it every morning. Thank you for your thoughts. This will be a hard holiday. There's a lot of my family is missing. I've lost 4 in the past 5 years, and of my immediate family. And so it's very difficult. And a lot of people, have this, and I know, there's been, we had that whole thing a few years ago where a lot of people were spending Christmas without loved ones, for reasons. And, it's the same thing. It's the same thing here. And it'll be challenging. Thank you for thinking of me. But yeah, I can't say enough about the yerba mate. I really enjoy drinking it. That said, I am going to, in January, to celebrate World Carnivore Month, I will be doing Lion Diet, which will mean that it will be off the menu. I'll be drinking beef bone broth during my morning, whatever. But I find that if I, am traveling or doing anything like that, it wasn't like with coffee. With coffee, it was like, what am I going to do if I don't have coffee in the morning? It's not the same with the tea. I don't know why. I know there is some caffeine in yerba mate, but it seems to be, my body seems to react different to it, because if I don't have it, I'm fine. I'm not yearning for it. I'm not, looking for something. I can drink a glass of water in the morning. I don't get a headache or anything like that. So I don't anticipate having a problem doing lion diet in January and not having my tea. I think I'm going to be just fine. And really looking forward to going back to lion for at least that month. You know, it'll be for the month of January. World Carnivore Month is coming. And yeah, it is. I don't know. The first few weeks, I definitely felt that I was able to get through my intermittent fasting a lot easier. And now that just doesn't seem to be an issue anymore. Now that I've been doing some 24-hour and 36-hour fasts, it's not hard for me to get through the intermittent fasting, even if I don't have the tea. So, it's something that it's a tool in the toolkit for sure. Roadhouse Press, I can't get back on track. I lost 120 pounds, but gained back 30 and can't find my groove again. It makes me so down. So you can, you actually can. You can, at the next meal that you have, you can decide what you're going to have and you can eat that meal. And then you can do it again for another meal. Because ultimately, unless somebody is forcing it down your throat, there's something that's happening to you where you're making that decision to keep going back to it. But you can stop. And I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying that you can. And this is where I'm talking about the self-limiting beliefs. When we say to ourselves, I can't get back on track, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You have to just reframe it. And I say just, but I know it's not easy. I know I've been through this. There's been times, when my dad died, I gained 40 pounds. And so I went through this. I went through this whole thing of, telling myself like, oh, what am I going to do? I'm, like I told myself all the stories of why I couldn't do it. And you have to tell yourself that you can and you will, and this is what you're doing, and find, dig deep and find why do you want to do this? Because if you don't have a strong why and you're telling yourself you can't get back on track, and how, that you're feeling down and all these things, if you keep recycling that story to yourself, you're still going to get those same results. And so take some paper and write down the reasons why you're going to get back on track, and do some inner, I know it sounds corny, do some inner work. You have to do some inner work. I had to do a lot of inner work to get here. I know you can do it. I know you can. I'm glad you're here. I hope you come again and visit on Sundays, and talk, just hang in there. Just hang in there. You can do this. Darvit, I see a lot of people revving and pushing themselves incredibly hard leading up to the holidays, and then they get sick after the apex of the holiday. Please practice self-care. Remember, it's about love. Yes, absolutely. And this is where some, we're all under a lot of pressure. And I think that sometimes people, take on a lot more than they should during these times, because they're searching for that perfect holiday, perfect outfit, perfect meal, the perfect dessert they're going to serve, the perfect dish they're going to make. It's all about everything. The table's got to look. It's all about everything being so perfect when it doesn't have to be. If people come here to eat, they should be grateful that I've cleaned up and I've put out food, and that's it. There's not going to be anything like that going on here, other than they're going to get fed, and we're gonna have a good time, and it may not be perfect. And I think you have to take that attitude that it may not be perfect, but it's going to be it's going to be fine. And this next comment here, Jason, thank you, Jason. Perfection gets in the way of progress. It sure does. It sure does. We do not need to be perfect. I'm losing my voice. Hang on. I tend to really get get going on these things. I'm sorry, you guys. Iona Maryland 1755. These Sunday lives are so appreciated as they help encourage me to stay on track for the week. Cheers from frigid Thunder Bay. Oh my goodness, it is so cold for you guys there back east. I've been looking at the temperatures and just astounded. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad that it's helpful. I kind of wish that 20 years ago I had a place I could go to, watch people talk about this sort of thing, and I'm just trying to make sure that people know that it doesn't have to be the way it is. It's never too late to change. And you don't have to, if you screw up, you don't have to suffer until January. You can change it at the next meal. Darvit, reframing works wonders. Try to take negative statements and thoughts and rephrase them in a positive way. I don't want to get sick. I am healthy. Absolutely. 100% agree with you, because what we focus on most is what transpires in our lives, and just really saying, like, change the trajectory, and it can start at the next meal. It truly can. Hi, Patty L. I find if I ask myself, will this food help get me closer to my goals or further away? Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. I try to think about, my future self, and I try to think about, just changing the story, and get deep in touch with your why, because I think that is so important. We have to question everything, including ourselves and some of the things that we say to ourselves. Okay. Jason, hi. I appreciate everyone from this community that chooses to support what I am doing, though. Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate everybody here that comes to the lives, supports my channel, leaves comments on the videos, hits like on the videos, everything that causes YouTube to go, okay, so, let's show this to more people, because I want people to know. I mean, I say this every week. I want people to know it's not too late and it is possible. I appreciate, Jason, you come out every week and you help out, and I appreciate that so much. Denim 4821, I come every Sunday night to get Anita's pep talks. Being connected is so important. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm glad that it helps. William Nichols 3125, hello Anita, we enjoy your live events and your recipes. Bill and Barb shirt. Oh, well, that reminds me, don't forget about the shirt, everybody. Put that, because that's coming up in about 10 minutes. We'll probably have the draw for the shirt. So make sure that you put your comment in to win a shirt. And I didn't even explain what shirt you're going to win. I just assumed that you remember from last week, but you may not have been here from last week. So there is a giveaway on this shirt. On a t-shirt of your choice. It's from the merch shop, which is linked below, also in the video notes, as well as I'm sure it's been in the chat already. You'll get to pick the style, and you'll get to pick the color and the size. And so whoever wins tonight, if they send me their contact details, so that I can get you the information on how to order the right shirt for you, then they will send that to you. And so it's from Dashery, which is where my merch is. So we have a few designs in there, and we'll have more as time goes on, and some new ones were recently added. And so that's what the shirt is that people are trying to win. And good luck. Iona Marilyn, I made the skim milk 3-ingredient buns tonight with my chili. Delicious. Those are good buns, aren't they? Considering what they are. But yes, they do have some carbs, so everybody just needs to be aware, and just count it in whatever your total allowance is, and for those of you who are carnivore. They are all animal stuff in there except for the baking powder. So yeah, I like those too. Don't have them every day, but I do like them. Cindy Lubinsky, very honest and inspirational tips today. Just what I needed. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm glad that you're here. Diana Lay and 5507. Hi, Diana. Actually, it was watching your video about the fat fast that got me over a plateau. I'm on the next plateau down. I think I'll do that again. Sometimes you just need a little something different. I've been on a beef kick the last 2 or 3 days. I just felt like I needed it, and sometimes I'll do the sardines, sometimes the eggs, and sometimes the fat fast, just for a change. And it can just sort of keep you going for the next thing. Shelley Weber, good evening, Anita. My first live I'm catching part of. Well, welcome. I like it when first timers are here, because I just this is what keeps it all going. And thank you so much for coming. Christy Adams, have you used your new vibration plate yet? I bought one on Cyber Monday and used it for the first time for 15 minutes, and I was so sore. Different kind of workout. So I have used it several times. I use it 2 or 3 times minimum a day. I'm loving how it makes my legs feel. I'm trying to work on my lymphatic drainage, and I'm still at a very low setting, so maybe your setting was higher than mine. I haven't felt sore, but like I said, I'm playing with setting. I think it goes all the way up to 60 for intensity, and I'm less than 5. My first one of the morning is always, I just have it at setting number 1. I just very low intensity, just get the circulation going in my legs. So I'm taking it slow and easy, but yeah, I love it, and I am using it every day. Welcome, Debbie 3763, who became a YouTube member. So check out the member area on the channel. Adrian, plateaued 2 years, did sardine fast, fat fast, egg fast, barely moved the dial, hanging on to carnivore because there's no other choice, and I've never felt better. Thanks for your videos. You're welcome. Feeling better is huge. That is a huge win. And at some point, your body's going to catch up to all that feeling better and all that good food that you're giving it. And the needle will move. It's happened to me. I've had a 2-year plateau in my past, in this whole journey. And all of a sudden, it just decided to move. So, it happens. Gadget Lily, you are always so encouraging and caring. I hope we are just as encouraging and supportive for you. Absolutely. I get the kindest comments. I get jerky comments too, but they're so few and far between that they just make me laugh. And I'm like, wow, who peed in your bed last night? Have a good day. It's all I can think of to say to them. But by and large, I get so many supportive comments and people sending me messages and emailing and all that. So thank you for this. I'm very grateful. Thank you. Smiling for you too. Just a suggestion, but I will up my game in another area of my health, like exercise, journaling, massage, drinking more water. And I find for some reason it helps redirect me in my eating. Absolutely. That is a beautiful point, because we can't always control what is going on with who, if we're going somewhere, the boss's place for dinner or some other thing, the food is going to be the food. You can certainly, bring stuff or whatever, but if we're also working on our mind and our body and our spirit and our sleep and our circadian, if we're working on all those other good habits at the same time and keeping those up as well, it absolutely is going to have an effect on how we approach the food. It's kind of funny that we care more, as we get towards our goals and feel better, the more better we feel, the more we want to feel better, and we want to do the right thing for our bodies, mind, spirit, everything, and it's all interconnected. So thank you for bringing that up. That was an excellent point. Shelly, I'm pretty new to carnivore and your channel. This is my first live. Welcome. I went off plan on Thanksgiving and felt ill for 3 days. I didn't go nuts, just a little of this and that. Yeah, it's amazing how we can go off plan for a day and realize, wow, I was feeling like this all the time at one point in my life. Imagine the way you felt for those 3 days. Some people live that every single day when they're eating a standard American diet. Every single day, but you get used to it. You don't even realize how awful you feel sometimes until you go through a period of time where you're feeling really good. And then you have, a Thanksgiving day where you ate what you ate. And then you felt sick for 3 days. And that probably would have just felt normal before. So, that's always a good reminder. And sometimes something like that can help us, feel a little stronger for the next round. Okay. Thanks for your comment. Chris Dawson, I was looking forward to this live tonight. I have really been struggling lately. A lot of people are struggling at this time of year. It is the it's like the month of struggle, and so it's important to try to get out there and see things like this and follow people who are positive and talk to people who are positive and get the encouragement you need, and trying to provide a little bit of that here for you guys and for myself too. Talking about this also helps me and makes me stronger, and so we're all in this together, and we can do this. And so I'm glad that you're here, and I hope that even if just one thing that I have said tonight strikes a chord with you, I hope that is going to be helpful. Amy Roberts, I love listening to you. You are so genuine and have a kind, encouraging disposition. Thank you. Well, thank you, Amy. I really appreciate that you're here, and very, very grateful for you and everyone who's here tonight. I'm just going to head over to the live chat. I have not been in here this evening. We just have a few minutes left. And in about 2 minutes, we're going to run the giveaway. So make sure that you put in the word shirt in there right now. This is your last chance. And if you have entered, make sure you come back tomorrow and take a look at the last 5 minutes to see if you are the winner, and contact me. So yeah, we're going to be drawing for that in just a moment. So how many entries have we got? That number is too tiny. I can't see it. We have 110 people who have entered. So, let's, you've got about 10 seconds to put the word shirt in, and we're going to hit the button here. Oh, got another couple more entries in there. Good for you guys. Okay, let's draw this thing. Let's see who wins the shirt. Who is it going to be? Oh, it's exciting. Oh, it's S. Rudy or SRUD. I'm going to just make a note of that. So S. Rudy, what I need you to do is send me an email at ketogenicwoman@gmail.com. Tell me your name here, the S. Rudy, and of course your real name and address. And I will tell you how to pick out the t-shirt that you want. And then they will send it to you. So thank you for entering and congratulations. Okay, so let me just get back over here and into the, hang on. Okay, let me just get back over here. All right. Oh, maybe it's Shelly. Shelly, okay. Definitely. I'm just looking at some chat about who it is. But anyways, let me know who you are and your address, and we'll get you that shirt. So hang on, I'm just seeing if there's any last questions. I think we're good. I think we may have gotten all the questions. Just Jason Keto. Wait, I have to just. Jason also gifted a Ketogenic Woman membership. So I don't at this point know who that is, but that's fine. You know who you are if you did win it, and go check out the membership area. Now we do know it's Carnivore. That's a good name. Carnivore received a gift membership. Congratulations. All kinds of things being given away. It's Merry Christmas for all you people. Okay, so thank you guys for coming tonight. I really appreciate that you have been here and, listen to me go on about, about this whole thing and how, what I believe in. And I hope that it has helped some of you. And we'll be here every Sunday throughout the holidays. So come back next week and make sure you go and enter to win the air fryer, sometime this week. That's going to wrap up in about a week's time. So thank you, everybody. Good night. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Hit like on your way out. See you next week. Bye-bye.